Hello, everybody. This is Stephanie and Chelsea, and we are the co-founders of CS Planners, and we want to welcome you to our Solopreneur Growth Model webinar. And we've noticed through our experience with top businesses that each one goes through different stages. So in this video, we're going to share with you how to live your dream life, because a lot of solopreneurs, they struggle with getting their sales. They struggle with their mindset and their confidence. And really, we help them take from going from mindset and developing your confidence to how to build a funnel. So I'm so excited to share with you how we do it.
So before we get started, I think it's important for us to introduce ourselves. So like Steph said, we are the co-founders of CS Planners, but we want to give you some backstory of how we started. And ultimately, Steph, it started with you. So tell us your story and how we kind of got here.
So I started when I was on maternity leave, and I wanted to start because I wanted to generate a bit more income. And it started with as a virtual assistant. And essentially what I wanted to do is just making a little bit of money on the side, because I was on maternity leave, I wasn't getting EI or anything, and I needed that extra stream of income. That's originally why I started. And I noticed immediately I was able to get my first client within the first week of launching my business. And I feel like I was getting extremely well. I was able to get clients right away. And I struggled so much because with the pressures of society, I felt very pressured to go back to work. So, which I was at my corporate 9-to-5 job. I was there 4 years before that. And I was pressured to go there because a lot of people were saying, you can't run your business. They were saying I shouldn't because it's not the right thing to do. It's not stable. It's not something I should be looking into at this time. So, and I listened to them at first, which is why I went back to work. I went back to work, but I fully worked on my VA side hustle, I called it at the time. So I did both, and it was extremely overwhelming because clients kept coming to me and I was extremely overwhelmed, which is why you, Chelsea, are incredible, and you decided to help me. That was your whole goal, because everybody else was saying, no, I should leave what I'm doing on the side. I should leave it for my job. And the thing is, I was making more money on the side part-time than I was at my corporate job. So financially, it didn't even make sense for me to go back. It didn't at all. It made sense for me to have that business, to continue, for it to grow, because I was making more. But the thing is, which I think what happened for me is that I got lost, and everybody, all those different opinions and all those different people telling me what to do, which is why I decided to work on myself first. So thankfully for you, Chelsea, you decided to help me. You were one of the only ones that said, you know what, you can do this. And then together we decided to grow our business to where it is today. And we made a goal in October. We made a goal to quit our full-time jobs in November. And we did that. We beat our goal. We were able to quit our full-time jobs.
I just want to add a little section in there because I remember I was talking to a person that was trying to convince me that you should quit that side hustle. They were telling me that, you know what, she's going to regret this. I've heard a lot of people, they told you as well, but it got to a point where me and this other person were arguing both sides. And I just kept thinking, like, if you didn't have another person there to tell you go for it, you would have been like everyone else who is around other negative people telling you can't do it. And in essence, you would have probably believed that yourself, to be like, you know what, I actually can't do this. You're right. I should be here at my full-time job. I'm just going to leave that. Even though you loved it, it brought you great money on that side, and it was important to you. I remember having that conversation and arguing with them and saying, I vividly remember saying, if it's super important to her, then why should she leave it? If she's already been successful, then why should she leave that? She's proven herself. She's proven that she can do it. And yet now you're telling her that she shouldn't. Why? And it was just like everyone else. You had a lot of other people, and this is very similar to many other people. You don't have sometimes you just need that one person to tell you to go for it and that you can do it. And for me, I want to be that person for Steph of being like, you know what, you can do this. I'm going to help you however I can. And for me, I was like, I have time in the morning. What can I do in the morning to help you? Because I know that this is important for you, and I want to see you succeed. So if me helping out, because I have nothing to do within this chunk of time, if I dedicate that to helping you, then maybe you can go on and actually can live your dream life. And at that point, I wasn't actually involved until then, where you're like, you'll help? Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And so you taught me what we needed to do. And I slowly, as I started doing more and more, I turned to Steph, I was like, I kind of like this. And at that point, I didn't want to be at my full-time job. My mental health was going down, my physical health was going down, and I wanted an escape. So slowly, you and I started thinking, well, what if we actually do this? And like Steph said, in October, we registered the business. And within that first month, Steph and I made it a priority to get enough clients for us to live that dream life. And so what happened, Steph's like, okay, I will start networking. And within that month, we had enough clients to bring in enough income for both of us to quit our full-time jobs. And that's just working on, one, our mindset right away to be like, yes, we can do this. And the second of like starting to grow those connections, starting to get to know people and network so we can find more opportunities.
And it was important to me. The whole reason why I wanted to start all this was because my daughter, I wanted that freedom of being able to be at home with her, being able to have that flexibility that I feel like a lot of parents they want that flexibility of working from home, having more so that we can spend more time with my daughter. And I wanted that. And I feel like, and yet I had it and I was drawn still, and I still went back to work. So I feel like in all this, it was hard. It was hard managing it all. And I'm so thankful that Chelsea, we both were able to grow to the point where we both were able to quit our full-time jobs very early, very quickly. And we discovered how we do it, which is why I'm so excited in this webinar. We tell you how we did it, and we teach you exactly the steps you need to do so that way you can do it too. Because we have been with so many different people, the top business people and everybody. We have worked with some phenomenal people around the world, and we realize they all have a trend and they all do the same thing. And we've studied them and we've lived it ourselves. And it's exciting because in this way, we're able to teach other people, not just us. We're able to teach everybody how they can do it. You can do it too. You're sitting here right now thinking, I want to quit my job. Or maybe you don't have a job and you're like, I need that side income. That's why I started. I needed that income at first. That's the exact reason. If you're sitting there right now thinking, how do we do it? How exactly? We have studied the top people, and we're so excited in this webinar to share with you how we do it.
Exactly. So, like Steph said, we started off as VAs and we learned the insiders' tips and tricks from, we have 3 stories we're going to share. So, we started working with, I'm going to call her Amy. So, we're changing the names of our actual clients. We started working with Amy. Amy was in the same situation as Steph. She knew what she wanted to do, but needed help getting there. And she was very good at coming up with ideas, but couldn't actually implement them. So she was at the very, very starting point, and we were there working alongside of her to grow the business. The next person is George. So George, by the time we got in contact with him, he had a good income, he had a good following, but he wanted to start growing and promoting his business even more so he could continue to grow. And then the third client we worked with, we're going to call him Brandon. Now, Brandon was extremely successful that I was kind of intimidated, even though he was the nicest guy. So Brandon had a very high functioning business. Brandon was doing such a great job that when we worked for him, we were talking to top models. We were talking to representatives from the NBA. Like, they were well established. They had it all figured out. So these were only some of the clients we had, but we're going to use these 3 as an example as we go through, because ultimately by studying them, we created this framework. So we realized that not one strategy fits all. One person had to focus on a certain item before we could move on to the next step. So with Amy, we first of all had to focus on her mental health. She was going through a lot at that point, lost a lot of few members of her family, that it was a really tough time, and we needed to focus on that before we could even build. So we I remember you and I were driving one time and she called us and we pulled over and we had to have a conversation because we're like, we can't move on until we focus on this. And once we figured that out, we were able to move on. Same thing with George. So George, he already knew he could run a business. He already had his business set up. But it's like, okay, so now you've done the business of building. How are we going to get you to grow? How do we get you to level up? And then for Brandon, it was, okay, you're already up here. How do we make your life easier by getting those sales consistently without you having to be online constantly? And so by looking at these three clients we had at that time, we ended up seeing a trend, which was very fascinating.
I know. I found it when we discovered it, it was life changing because we realized the problem. We realized that a lot of people out there, they teach as if it's only one size fits all. This is the strategy that works for me, so it must work for you. But the thing is, every single business is different. We've worked with everywhere from coaches, authors, motivational speakers, photographers. And every single one is different. How can you tell me that my strategy is going to work for every single one of them? Because it's not. Every single strategy is different. But the thing is, each one of those, they have a trend. And this trend is, which is why we call the solopreneur growth model, is incredible because each one of those, each business goes through those different stages, which is incredible because it allows each business in any field to continue to grow, to continue to find their marketing strategies that works for them. And it's an incredible way to go from, I need to focus on my mindset, to, yeah, now I'm ready to start making money while I'm sleeping. That's how incredible this is, because it's, when you figure it out, when you figure out the secret, this is the thing. Like, I feel like in business, it's always a journey. Every single time, it's like a journey, and you keep going through, and you're trying to discover, and you keep trying things and trying things and trying things, and you spend money, waste money on all these like thousands and thousands of dollars. We had someone, I feel like we had so many different clients and wasted money on like $8,000+ on things that did not work. They did not bring them results, because the thing is, every single business is different. Every single one is different. You need to create a strategy that works for you. And this model, it teaches you where you can figure out what you're doing wrong and what your next step is. So each stage of the way, you can say, hey, I'm at that stage. This is what I need to work on, and this is my next step. Because ultimately, like, every single business is at a different stage. Some people are just beginning. Some people don't even, we've worked with people that barely have an idea yet. And in that case, they need to slow down. They need to, just like Amy, like she had so many great ideas, but she didn't know where to even start. And the thing is, you need to focus on building up your confidence and mental health, because when you do that, everything became so much easier for her and so many more opportunities. All of a sudden, everything, once she figured out her mental health, everything else became so much easier on what she wanted to focus on, her niche, how to connect with people, what problem is she trying to solve, everything that she was wondering, everything that she wanted. It started when she worked on that. It was incredible how, like, we saw her change completely, and it was incredible to be able to work with her to see that change.
It was also fascinating because when she started focusing, and for her it's mental health, sometimes people in the first level, it isn't mental health, it is other things like confidence. But for her, when she started focusing on her mental health, she ultimately found exactly what she wanted, where she was trying all these other things while dealing with the mental health aspect. But she did some self-discovery of being like, no, this is actually what I want. So I found that extremely fascinating to see where she is right now, to be like, yeah, because you realize more of your passion and who you are through this journey. And I want to go off something you said as well. We had more clients, of course, but they came from this one course, and this course was teaching them one size fits all method. So it's you do this, you're going to have 10,000 people on your email list. And so people signed up for it, spending thousands of dollars, thousands.
Yeah.
And when they got there and they started learning, they realized they would still need to hire somebody else for them to actually get to that. And so what's incredible, they ended up spending over $10,000,
Yep.
and it's people who, one person didn't even have a business idea. They didn't know what they wanted to do. One had a business, was trying to figure out how to bring it online, and the third one, again, was they kind of knew what they wanted to do and they just needed to build it up. But what I found incredible was that when they weren't getting those results, they were told that they're a failure. You're not getting this because your mindset's not there. And I remember talking to the person that didn't even know what they wanted their business to do. And I started asking them, so what are your next steps? So after we do this, what happens next? And they had no idea. And I was like, this is a great time for you to promote what you want to do next. And again, they're like, well, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, I can't tell you what you want your business to be. That has to come from you. And it was so frustrating and really sad for me to see, because I just kept thinking, this person's so stressed with money. They were convinced that spending thousands of dollars on this one course was going to help them. And that genuinely broke my heart, because it's like, you're struggling with money, you spent all this money, and you don't know where or what you even want to do. So this also helped us come up with a strategy to be like, if you don't want to spend thousands of dollars, then you can start here and figure this out, and then you can grow along the way, and you can do it at a reasonable price. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars. You can ultimately do it for free if you already have the skills and tool set. But if not, we'll get to this later, but there's resources out there where you can spend just a short amount of money or a small amount of money, learn that, and then apply those skills. So this is when we started really creating the framework of our method to really help solopreneurs grow. This is when we started implementing it and seeing it play out.
Yes, because if someone hasn't told you already, and I feel like it's so important to keep telling you this, if someone hasn't told you already, you don't need to spend $10,000 in your business to start up, because you absolutely don't. And which is why we are very passionate about helping solopreneurs, because they don't have they don't have all like tens and thousands of dollars to spend, but yet you want to be able to continue to learn all the strategies, to be able to learn all the strategies that top like entrepreneurs, top business owners that use across the world, right? So this is why I'm so excited, because I feel like we take everything that we have learned, and each different, no matter what stage they're in. So whether you are just the beginning, whether you don't even have an idea yet, or whether you're sitting here right now saying, I do have an idea and I'm ready to really start making my sales, and I want to increase it. No matter what stage you're in, this strategy and our solopreneur growth model will help you.
And what I also find fascinating is I've talked to some people through Facebook groups where they're saying, I've spent hundreds of dollars on ads and no one's buying my service. And so once we started talking to them, we realized they skipped a huge step. So now they're spending all this money, they're not getting the results, but they haven't even done this middle part. So I'm really excited to start going into, what are we talking about? What is the solopreneur growth model? It's like, okay, get there already. But I wanted you guys to know that we've been through it and we've seen it happen, and we've supported people through their journeys, that once we created this new model, I feel like we've been able to help more and more people, because they've been able to identify where they are, that it's allowing them to grow in that section, and then they're able to move on successfully without feeling like they're spending so much money and not getting the benefits of it.
So the main struggle that I had when I first started my business was people telling me that I'm not good enough. My product is not good enough. There's no way that I can sell what I'm doing. And it really brought me down. Like, I just remember this one person telling me, there's no way that you can sell. Like, there's no way that you can sell what you're doing. The thing is, I did, and I sold it for more money. And how did I do that? That's exactly the first stage in our solopreneur growth model. It's called the person to self. And in that stage, it's really about focusing on yourself and building your mindset up so that way you can build the confidence. So when you have those negative people after you to say, you know what, you can't do that, it gives you the confidence to say, you know what, I can, and I'm going to make double the money. Because without that, all the other stages which we will go in, if you figure out yourself, if you realize who you are as a person, if you build your confidence, if you work on yourself and what you're thinking about, are you thinking negative thoughts all the time? Are you stuck in your mind with anxiety? I've been there before. I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard, but you can do it. And that's why we teach you the strategies that you need to know in order to help you get to the next level. Because let me tell you right now, when you focus on your confidence, when you really are confident, you can sell just about anything. I'm telling you, if you want to know the secret, you're saying it right there. There's a secret to what those top people are doing. What is their secret? Just like Brandon, he was the top, like, he is incredible. What's his secret? What did he have to do? His mindset was incredible. I'm telling you, no, like, phenomenal. Like,
Amazing.
yeah, like, mind blowing. Like, and it's something that he had to learn in order to get to where he is. And we'll go into how he got there. But for right now, we're talking about the person to self, because when you start discovering who you are, when you start, and I know it's hard, so many people, especially now, are trapped in their own thoughts. They have the negative thinking. They can't escape. They close their eyes in that night, and they can't stop. They can't get out of their head. I've been there before. I know what it feels like to have anxiety. And I'm telling you, Chelsea is the mindset master. She is phenomenal. She's incredible. And I remember I got to my breaking point in February, and she completely changed my life. I can tell you from this method, the person itself, I not only can say that I'm free of anxiety, and we don't claim to be, like, I do think if you have anxiety, you need to work on that. Please get the help that you need, because that is essential for building your business right now, is working on your mindset and working to make sure that you can build your confidence and your mindset and everything as well, and your mental health. But I can tell you right now that because of these strategies, I'm able to help myself. So when I go to bed, I'm not thinking of all these negative thoughts. I'm not letting anxiety take over, because what's most important is you dealing with your anxiety, you building up yourself, your confidence yourself. Because when you have that, when you are feeling confident, all those other strategies of all those other sales strategies become so much easier. And let me tell you, like, you can get all the sales strategies in the world. You can try them all. Like, yeah, try them all. But the thing is, it starts with your mindset, because people buy you. They buy your confidence, because if you're confident in it, then everybody else will be confident in it.
What I love about the person to self is I personally feel like it helps present you prepare future you for whatever's going to come your way. And yes, it can help you if you're standing here being like, well, I'm very confident, like I don't need mindset. Perfect. That's great. But I also want to ask you, if you start selling a product and no one buys it, how would you feel? Are you going to feel defeated and feel like you're not successful? Or do you take it as a learning opportunity? Because your answer to that will also determine if this is a step you need to focus on. If you're telling me I'm not going to fail, like it's fine, I have all the knowledge, you might want to go and check this section out, because this is something where I find a lot of people struggle with. It's if you're not preparing yourself for challenges, because in business it's inevitable, you are going to have some type of challenge coming your way. If you're not prepared to deal with that, then you're potentially setting future you up for a lot of disappointment or or sadness. And we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to help you change your mindset so when things don't go your way, then you're okay. But also focusing on, you can do it. You're great. So if you're standing here saying, well, I don't have the confidence, this is also for you, because we're teaching you that you have everything you need in your back pocket. You just need to believe in yourself. So this is great for anybody at any level. And even if you're already super successful, sometimes you might need to come back to this. We've heard top people say, you know what, I still deal with imposter syndrome, and they do still need to work on their mindset. So this might be something where you focus on the person to self. So person to self is the first stage of the solopreneur growth model. The second stage, which is Steph's like specialty, it's ultimately the reason why we were able to leave our full-time jobs in a month. It's the person to person method. So Steph, take it away.
So if you're sitting there thinking, how exactly did we get our first client within the first week of launching our business? It's the person to person model, the person to person stage. And it's incredible because the reason why I love it is because it allows you to get clients right away. If you're sitting there thinking, before I move on to those higher stages, you need to start making money right now, this is it. And how do you do it? It's connecting with people. You need to connect with the right people. You need to use the right words. You need to know how to connect with people. Because let me tell you right now, there's someone out there right now looking for exactly what you offer. I know that for sure. There are so many people in this world, and the online world is incredible. But the thing is, and the problem is, where a lot of people get stuck is they don't know how. They don't know how to connect with people. They don't know what to say. They don't know their niche. There's so many questions that are unanswered. Some people, they don't know what problem do they solve. They don't know any of those things. And the thing is, when you're connecting with people, you're connecting with them. You're building relationships. And when you build relationships, the online world is phenomenal. It's incredible. There's so many people that we have built connections with all over the world. And how we've been able to do that is the person to person. And I feel like in this, we were able to discover, that's how we were able to get, if you're looking, sitting there, I want to get sales, and you're looking to get sales right away, and you're ready to get started, connecting person to person is how you do it. That solved for sure. You will get your sales right away. If you're ready to put in the work, if you're ready to get there and you have the drive, you already worked on your mental health and your mindset, and you're ready, you're antsy to get out there, and you already have the confidence, you're going to get that sale with the person to person. It's incredible how much it's changed our lives. And let me tell you, in business, people, especially as solopreneurs, you get lost with, where do I even start? How do I find clients, right? And the thing is, which a lot of people think is, if I put up a website, they will come to me. That's the thing. But the thing is, you need to go chase after them. If you want the sale, you need to start working hard. You need to get out there and chase people. You need to, and building relationships with people. You need to take your sales to the next level, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your hard work. So this is an incredible way for you to connect with people, start building the relationships. And in this, if you're thinking, this gets you excited, we teach you exactly what to say. How did we land our first client? Because let me tell you, we've been there, and it matters what you say and how you say it. All those kind of things, they matter, because ultimately how you build relationships, how you connect with people, that is what will get you to that sale. That's what will help build your relationships, both of your businesses, and you can work with so many different people all across the world. That's how you do it. If you're thinking, how do we connect? How do we leave our full-time jobs in 1 month? That's our secret. We just revealed it right now, the person to person, but you have to know how. You have to know how to connect with people, and you have to know what to say. You need to know, how do you find your niche, and all those things. That's exactly what the person to person model does.
And I find this fascinating because I knew I had the mindset figured out, but I never knew how to actually find clients. And what I loved is Steph kept coming back. She's like, okay, so I was talking to this person and they want to meet with us on this day, and this person wants to meet with us. And I just kept thinking, like, how how do you find all these opportunities? Like, I could never do this without you. So that's why I'm so excited that we do actually teach people how to actually do that person, how to actually find connections, how to actually get clients. And it is incredible for me to think, like, she got us enough clients for two of us to leave our full-time jobs. I've heard so many people out there that have been trying to promote themselves and they're struggling. And I'm like, how were we able to get two people to quit our full-time jobs? And it was this method. We wanted out quickly. So we prioritized this. We pushed the person to person. So to follow, we have the person to self, where you focus on your mindset and self-confidence, figuring out what you want to do for a business. The second stage is the person to person. Now, once you started building those person to person connections, you've started networking, you can now go to the next stage, which is the person to group, which I think it is such a fun activity, because this is where you get your social media involved, you get podcasts, like summits. This is a fun stage.
I love this because it allows essentially what the person to crowd stage is. It's you pitching to a group of people. And think about when you're pitching to a group of people, think of it like as podcasts, right? So it's you're talking and that you're reaching audiences of hundreds, thousands of people. It's every time you post on social media, because when you post on social media, there's hundreds of people that will see your post. But the thing is, you have to know how to do it. How do you find those opportunities? How exactly, what do you post on social media to get hundreds, thousands of people engaged? How, and to follow you, to get to that level? And the same thing goes with podcasts. And I love it. It's such an incredible, it gets me so excited because it's the next stage. So in the person to person, you're connecting, it's more of that one-on-one, which is why you're able to get and grow and like get your first client right away. But the thing is, with the person to crowd, what makes it different, which is why it's incredible, is that you can pitch essentially and you can build relationships with hundreds of people just by talking and just by posting once. Like, to me, that is so exciting, knowing that just by posting that one social media, just by you talking on that one podcast, you can reach their entire audience. Think about that for a minute, just by you doing that. And the thing is, though, you have to know, well, how do you connect with, how do you find these opportunities? What kind of opportunities? Because there are so many different opportunities that will allow you online, that will allow you to connect with a crowd of people, for you to essentially, at the end, we've had it where at the end of podcasts, we've had people, so many people reaching out to us by doing that one, and it saves so much time, because you think we do one podcast, well, there's so many different opportunities, one podcast, one's like summit, webinar. And I feel like you do that once and you have so many different people reaching out to you, but you have to know, how do you do it? How do you find those opportunities? What do you have to post on social media? How do you build your brand in order to make it engaging and being who you are? Because there's tricks to that. There's, each of these stages has different strategies on, because you have to make sure that it works. And we have learned from top experts on what exactly they do. We know the different stages, and we know that there are people, and when they get to the stage, they're doing podcasts, and they do it because, which I love, and the reason why I love person to crowd is you can connect with a group. It helps build credibility to you, especially as a solopreneur. You need that credibility, and it's incredible. And when you figure out, and we teach you exactly what you need to do, how to find those opportunities, because ultimately that is going to help you level up that one more. So if you're looking for that, if you're sitting there thinking right now, you've already figured out the person to person, and you're sitting there thinking, I'm ready to start connecting with a crowd, then this is exactly it. This is the stage, the person to crowd method.
Absolutely. So now we're continuing. So we go from the person to self, to the person to person, to the person to crowd. Now what's next? Let me tell you, it's the person to funnel. So now you've done this person to crowd, you're getting all these people coming your way, and you want to generate sales without you having to constantly be answering them or sending things. We're teaching you how to get sales while you're sleeping. And this is such an incredible method because it's so rewarding.
I know it gets me so excited because if you ever hear those people, you probably hear it all the time where those people that, can go on vacation and they get money, right? And or with us, we were able to get over 4,400 course enrollments while we were sleeping for the
Yep.
majority, like, 4 days. So like, we're sleeping for like half the time. Like, so like, right. So, and how did we do that? What, if you're sitting there thinking, what do they do to get such like that many course enrollments in such a short amount of time? It's the person to funnel. And the thing is, what you're doing in this is you're funneling people from other like different audiences into yours. So the main problem and the reason why solopreneurs they get stuck is because they need to start building that authority. And what is the fastest way right now for you to help build that authority? It's by you working together with different audiences, and it's almost like you're borrowing their different audiences so you can pitch to them and you're funneling them to you.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially you create a customer journey, and this is where it's interesting because once you get to this point, you're not done. You can also go back to the different stages as well. So even when COVID hit, our top client, Brandon, he had to go back to the person to person method, but he knew how to do that already. So when COVID hit and his business switched, he already had that fundamental basics to be able to go back and be like, okay, well, now I need to do this and restart rebuilding his business until it got to the point where the economy learned how to be online.
And the thing is with the person to funnel is it takes some time to set up, right? So there is work in setting up. You have to know, how do you build those audiences? How exactly do you funnel people and build all these different relationships? Because let me tell you, I remember thinking funnels, especially as a new solopreneur, being the scariest thing because it's overwhelming. How do you get people to become aware of you? How do you grow leads? How do you build connections while you're sleeping? And we teach you that. And not an over, I remember feeling very overwhelmed about sales funnels and all that. And the thing, it's a lot. But the thing is, with this, it's incredible. When you have it set up, the results from this is incredible, but you have to know how to do it. How exactly do you funnel people to get to you? How do you get people aware of you? Because that is the hardest thing, and what people get stuck with, specifically in a sales funnel, right? So in all this, we teach you what to do even before a sales funnel. How do you get there? How do you get people aware of you? Because ultimately, when you figure that out, your whole audience, you will completely change. People will be funneling to you. You're building connections. And each of these stages is so important. You can see the benefits of each one, right? So the person to person, if you are looking to, just like Brandon, he had at one point, he was at the person to funnel stage at one point where he was funneling people, and because of COVID hit, he had to go back. But see, just like Chelsea said, he knew how to do that already. So for him, it was easy to switch back at any point. And the thing is, when you figure out all these stages, no matter what happens, no matter what challenges you're faced, because let's face it, in business, even just like Brandon, he was a very successful business owner. But the thing is, when COVID hit, that was a huge challenge, and he knew exactly how to deal with it because he went through all of these stages. He was confident enough. He knew how to connect, how to still continue to grow. And even during COVID, he knew how to do that already.
I think also too, the price goes up as you go through. So the person itself, it doesn't cost you money to start focusing on yourself. But by the time you get to the person to funnel stage, you are going to have to start investing some money. So that's why we don't encourage anybody to jump right there because we do feel like you will end up wasting money. So this is why we talk about the journey. So let's give you some examples. So we started talking to one person. Her name was Shirley. Now, when I was talking to Shirley, she started saying, like, I have this business idea, but I don't have all this knowledge. I'm not comfortable being on camera. I don't even have a social media account because I'm really uncomfortable putting myself out there. Now, I'm not going to go, like, we're not going to talk to her and say, okay, you know what you should do? You should start building a funnel. Never. And nor will we say, well, obviously you need to go into talking to a crowd. No, even the person to person, even her talking to another person, she wasn't there yet. Shirley needed to focus on herself and building that self-confidence. So we got her to that stage. And now I love seeing Shirley's transformation because now she's like, well, I know I need to do this. So now I'm going to, that still makes me nervous, but now I'm going to do this and that will help me build up to that. I love it. I love it so much. And now she's at the point where, like, you know what? Let's start focusing on that person to person. And she's doing it. And because she's taken that journey, she's already set up for success. And she knows how excited we are for her because we keep seeing these milestones hit. And she's setting it herself. It's not a person telling her, well, now you need to be here. Now you need to be here. She's learned who she is as a person, and she's working around that to grow her business in the way that is best for her. And I love it.
I know, it gets me so excited because she went from not even having enough confidence to even be posting from social media. And now she's getting clients. She's confident enough to post and connect with so many people. And if you would have told her that right from the beginning, she was nervous. Like, it scared her to even be talking to people. And now she has a client, and she got her first client. And I feel like it's so exciting. And I feel like she may have gotten more, but either way, like, it's so exciting because it's like she started focusing on herself first. Because often, like, if we said, oh yeah, if you want to make money overnight, you need to start with your funnel first, but like, it doesn't make sense for her because that would have overwhelmed her, right? She needs to get used to being on camera. She needs to get used to connecting with people, even talking to them one-on-one, even before that, working on her mindset and her confidence. Because how do you get that sale in a week? How do you do it? It's the person to person. Yes, absolutely, that'll work, but only if you have the confidence, only if you believe in everything that you do. Because if you're sitting there thinking, I'm losing every client, and you're feeling very down about yourself right now, it's time to start focusing on yourself. And if someone hasn't told you this already, it is okay to take time for yourself, because not a lot of people do. And I feel like they don't take enough time to really start focusing on you. And when you do that, you will experience incredible growth in your business, because this is a journey that we're taking you on, the solopreneur growth model. And in this journey is we help you live your life's purpose and goals. We are here to help you every single step of the way, no matter what stage you're in, no matter if you are nervous on camera, you don't even want to be seen, you don't even want a picture taken of you right now, you don't even have a business idea. We take you from that to not only feeling confident in a crowd, but we take you even further on feeling confident enough to build that sales funnel.
Exactly. I am so excited because we have also created courses for each step of this model, because we could literally be here for hours talking to you how to build up each thing. So we put each category, so the person to self, person to person, person to crowd, and person to funnel, all into a course. So no matter where you are at, you can buy the course and start learning those strategies. And we keep the prices cheap just because we understand, especially for the person to self, you might not have the money coming in at that point. So we keep it cheap because we also know the importance of trying to help other people not spend all this extra money that is unnecessary. So make sure you check it out. Those will be available January 1st, 2021. So I'm super excited. And please let us know where you're at in your journey. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram. Let us know where you're at in your journey. Where are you stuck? Because we love helping solopreneurs grow their business so they can live their dream life. And ultimately, that's why we're here. We want you to live the dream life, the what you've always fantasized before falling asleep. We want to make that your reality because we made it ours. So because we understand what it's like to see that success and to grow your business from nothing to where we're at now, it's an incredible transformation and it's so rewarding, and we want you to feel that as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to keep going and keep growing, because with that in mind, you will never fail.